I want it to be a big fight, and you know, I want the whole world to watch. You know, back at Wembley, and I want to be undisputed. First time in England, first time, and do it in London, Wembley Stadium. So this is all massive for me. I can't wait.
Okay, bro.
That was clear.
It was in the past. Okay, body shot. Body shot.
Yep.
Bro, what is body shot?
Body shot, man.
Like a body shot.
I'll
body
show
shot.
you again.
Body shot. It's like
show you
this.
again.
It's not this.
That wasn't there. You didn't go like that.
Listen, my friend.
I think one thing
What's
that
going
fans...
on? This body shot. This body shot. It's not.
okay.
It's not only one punch. It's not only one. You punch every time. I don't know who you talk to. Punch like both and Usyk. Listen, you boxer. You're not fighter MMA. You boxer, Daniel, world champion.
Journey, making my legacy, leaving my mark on this sport, and worked really hard to get there. I'm not going to be denied now. I'm at the door. I'm at the door, and I'm just going to kick it.
One rematch, two men, and an unending rivalry. Fans realized this wasn't simply another promotional interview the instant they sat across from one another, quiet, icy, and stone-faced. It was unresolved business. Usyk and Dubois revealed more than just words in a recently uncovered interview with Sunsport. They exposed resentment, psychological tricks, and something far more harmful than fists: purpose. According to Dubois, he is a national hero. He only wants those belts taken away from him, however, when it comes to the ring.
Like a hero to his people, isn't he?
Yeah, really
so
is.
That's commendable. I commend him for that. But in the ring, I need to be the king, and you know, take the belts and be the man. So, whatever it takes, you know, go through him, and just take what's mine. Those belts, undisputed. Daniel Dubois.
There was tension so intense that it would shatter the ring. No bravado or jest. This sets the tone for Usyk versus Dubois 2 in its most unadulterated form. You'll understand that July 19th is more than simply a date after you see what they said, we promise. We are about to enter a full-scale conflict. When questioned about his level of readiness for the fight with Usyk, Dubois said that if things go out of control, his crew and Usyk's squad may enter the ring and start a full-on brawl.
One talks about how mercurial he is, how difficult, how do you prepare for him? There's probably only Moses Atalma who you can get in for sparring.
Yeah.
But you've done good rounds with him.
Who?
He's so hard to work out, this man here.
Oh, yeah.
So do you feel like you'll be so much better for this one than even you were in the first when you gave it a great go?
I think so, you know. I think so. Maybe all my cornermen, my team will just jump him in the ring. That might work.
Have you seen his team?
Yeah, we'll just jump him. We won't even bother with that fight. We just jump in everyone.
Usyk versus Dubois, 5th round. It continues to be the most contentious event in recent heavyweight history. Many people think that a single punch that was judged a low strike tilted the balance. The bout was promptly halted by the referee, who declared it low when Dubois delivered that vicious hit to Usyk's belly. Usyk seemed to be in pain when he fell. He was given over 4 minutes to recuperate by the referee. Once he got back up, he dominated the last few rounds and knocked out the opponent in the 9th round. The decision has generated a lot of controversy ever since. Regarding the low blow, Usyk used this phrase to express the hurt.
I've been punched in the stomach by sparring partners and I've been kicked in the groin by ex-girlfriends. When you got hit around that area, what did it feel like?
Це було боляче, it was pain.
The pain that makes you sick in the groin, or the pain that makes you gasp in the belly?
You know, like a punch and like a seed, and like a up, down, up, down.
But it was a body shot.
Usyk's longtime promoter, Eddie Hearn, left no space for misunderstanding. Below the navel was the full fist, miles below the bottom knuckles. It struck his guardian, definitely a low blow. If you look at where the punch landed, it was a few inches away from Oleksandr's genitals and the protector. He said at the DAZN boxing program, IT was a low hit, according to a boxing law expert, who also thinks that Usyk received justice.
5 angles, and whether or not you can see it or not, I can say it. But there's a couple of angles where you're not sure, and you're like, oh, well, where has that landed? But there is that one key angle which Mr. Krasiuk produced at the press conference.
I gave him that.
Yeah, I mean that's a clear angle where the glove is hitting. It's not hitting above the waistland. It's waistband.
No skin. It doesn't touch any skin whatsoever. You know, it's not like sometimes when you refer to a punch as a borderline low blow, is when half the glove touches the skin.
Well,
Hearn also didn't hold back when discussing Usyk's response. He milked it, no doubt about it. He despises the body. He continued by making analogies to comparable emotional scenes in Usyk's past bouts and putting up a plan intended to slow opponents down both physically and mentally. However, Dubois's publicist, Frank Warren, resisted vehemently. "We're not going to walk away, but it's in the past," he said to Sky Sports. "We will request a rematch when the regulating organizations have reviewed the ruling." Warren has persisted in maintaining that the punch was clean, claiming that the Dubois camp was unfairly denied victory and that they are quite entitled to a rematch to make things fair.
He didn't bring it up. Don brought it up, and he didn't even go on to explain it properly. The referee screwed it up. I mean, you listen to the rules here. I mean, I've got the WBA rules. It should not be below the navel, and it was not below the navel. He didn't hit up the balls or anything like that. It just didn't happen. He made a meal of it, and I get that and I understand that because he was hurt. He hurt him because he doesn't like it to the body. There's loads of photographs and loads of pictures, clear as a bell, that show where the punch landed. It's not about where somebody's shorts are, that or where they end. That's not what it's about.
At worst case, you're saying a rematch should definitely be ordered.
Well, I mean, on the strength, I mean, I don't see how anybody, even Tony Bellews of this world, you know, the facts are facts, and the facts are that was not a low blow, that was a legitimate punch.
Warren's detractors point out that, regardless of how good the punch is, it is unquestionably forbidden to deliver a strike below the waistline under boxing regulations. However, others contend that Usyk's outward display of emotion and his hesitation to resume the battle point to more than simply physical discomfort. Whatever one's position, the dispute changed more than just one fight's outcome. It established a story. Hearn took action to bolster Usyk's technical dominance. Warren used the decision as a call to action for Dubois's atonement. In the meanwhile, a divisive internet debate brought together fans and experts. Usyk used his inventiveness to make fun of Dubois by attacking his navy.
Да мне тоже боляче, и шо? И шо? Я все не так говорю. А я, это твои проблемы, я к тебе. Давай.
This moment looms large as Usyk and Dubois prepare for July 19, and neither guy can reject. Will Dubois use this grudge as fuel in the ring? Or will it serve as further incentive for Usyk to demonstrate his mettle in a decisive rematch? There's no denying that this was more than a slight. Their rivalry was altered by the confrontation, which also laid the groundwork for the future. This week, Spencer Oliver, a former European champion and current talk sport expert, made headlines when he confidently predicted that Daniel Dubois will defeat Oleksandr Usyk in talk boxing. Although Daniel Dubois has accumulated a lot of mileage with Usyk from the 2 battles with Fury, he has really improved both mentally and physically since then, thus I'm picking him. Dubois feels the rematch is no longer one-sided since he has grown in talent, strength, and mental maturity since their first fight, but Oliver's arguments have carried him through battles with Fury. Frank Warren, Dubois's backer, sees strength on his side, but is aware that the mountain is still high. If he catches him, he'll knock him out, he said plainly in a recent TikTok post.
Here now, and he knows what he's going into in this one. I've talked to the team about that as well. Like, they know what they're expecting. He went in there, he looked like a gladiator walking into the ring. He surprised everyone because we thought he was going to freeze.
Yeah, he did.
This time, he's going in there. When you speak to him, right, when you have, like, conversations about it, and he's looking at the arch down at the gym where we train, and you see it, and he goes through all this stuff. He's out there regularly watching it. He's one of those guys that works like that. When you speak to him, there's a little twinkle in his eye, this little smoke that comes on his face where you go, he actually really fancies this job, and that makes him a dangerous.
This optimism is in line with bookmakers who, despite Usyk's continued dominance, find Dubois' KO chances alluring. This is supported by a William Hill guide that predicts a close fight, but gives Usyk the victory in a technical decision in round 7. Notable opinions from the boxing community are also being expressed. Joe Rogan characterized Usyk on YouTube as evidence of his surgical accuracy and stamina. However, in a different highlight, he emphasized the possibility that Dubois might hit that game-changing blow. Talk Sport writer Simon Jordan used a fair tone. Although excellent, Usyk may be defeated. He stands a decent likelihood of losing against Dubois. Jordan admits Usyk's ring IQ, but points out that Dubois has a genuine chance of pulling off an upset because of his youth, self-assurance, and strength. He presents the fight as a true 50-50 contest in which he may change the course of history with a single knockdown. He asserts that Dubois has what it takes to really remove Usyk, and that it is his turn.
What differences have you seen in Daniel this time round compared to Daniel first time round, where it didn't quite go his way on the night?
Well, I'm going to go with what his manager said, what Usyk's manager said, Aegis. Aegis came out, he said, this time we're not fighting Daniel the boy, we're fighting Daniel the man. And I think that's the difference. You know, since that Usyk fight, which he was an underdog going into, and he showed that his punch power and hurt Usyk. Daniel had to grow up after that, and he did grow up, and he's had 3 magnificent wins since, winning against each one of them. In Babe Miller as an underdog, knocked him out in the 12th round and showed at any time in a fight, no matter how late it is, if he catches you, you go. Went into the fight with the bogeyman in the division, which nobody wanted to fight Hrgovic at all. And then obviously the big one at Wembley, 2-time world champion, went in the Lions Den because everybody there was behind AJ. And done an absolute job on him from round 1. I mean, he had him on the floor 4 or 5 times.
Do you envisage him knocking Usyk out, or do you envisage Daniel winning on points?
If he catches him, he'll knock him out.
That would be a statement.
He's a massive puncher. He's a massive... You only got to look what he's done. He's another one. He's a big puncher, and he's young. He's only 27 years of age, and he's a young 27 years of age.
In agreement, rising British heavyweight Johnny Fisher recently said Dubois will prevail. By NA video from Sky Sports, Fisher responded to the excitement around Usyk's aura by saying, "I see him win." Furthermore, he has spared Dubois and says it was a complete nightmare. He said his punches are like an electric jolt.
And there's no favouritism here. I think it's Daniel Dubois' time. I think he's a ferocious
I have to agree with
beast. Yeah, absolutely. and I think he deserves all the plaudits. I think what walked into Wembley Stadium was an absolute gladiator, and I'm thrilled for him that he's coming out of himself, growing as a man, becoming more worldly and able to communicate with the media, and I think it's going to be a fabulous fight.
Do you believe that he can get it done inside the distance?
I think he has to get done inside the distance.
Yeah. You don't think he can win on points?
I think it's unlikely.
Yeah.
I think it's unlikely. But whatever, July 19th, brilliant fight.
One individual has expertise dealing with both Dubois and Usyk. We are discussing Martin Bilal, a heavyweight from Congo. The 31-year-old even claimed to have knocked out the 2 heavyweight champions for this bout after sparring with Usyk and Dubois. He says that physicality will be crucial in this situation and thinks Usyk will win. He said the following things. "Except for me, Usyk defeats everyone. I believe Deontay Wilder is finished. Usyk is a boxing guy with a boxing movement and mentality. Martin Bilal is the only one who I believe can stop him at this time." Bilal said, "Eddie.
Not an easy affair, and that man punches really hard. Shook me to my boots many a time, even with his big 20-ounce gloves on. But that man punches unbelievably. See you later, Tom. Take care. See you later. But he punches unbelievably, and I think under Don Charles, them improvements we've seen in the fights with Jarrell Miller, Filip Hrgovic, He looks like he's really turned a corner, and he will give Usyk one hell of a test and one hell of a run for his money. And obviously backing the British fighters, I'll be backing him all the way. But it's going to be a tall ask to beat.
Voice of Matchroom Boxing has been frank about the rematch in a refreshing way, pointing out Usyk's tactical advantages against Dazin, as well as Dubois' advantages. Hearn identified a critical weakness, Usyk's susceptibility to body shots, as seen during their prior altercation. Dubois had to injure him. Usyk finds it unpleasant for the body.
He was not taken aback by that low strike.
It made contact with his lower abdomen. It would have the same impact if it were 2 or 3 higher. Daniel Dubois would have become the world champion, and the bout would have ended, in my opinion. This illustrates Hearn's conviction that Dubois has improved since their first encounter and can now deliver KO power with skillful technique. Hearn is honest about the difficulty. However, he cautioned against ring rust in a recent Seconds Out interview, but lauded Dubois' momentum, which included wins over Miller, Hergo, and Joshua. Additionally, he feels that he is still the underdog in the battle despite his extraordinary strength.
I heard you say that you stopped Daniel Dubois and Usyk in sparring. Can you elaborate on that?
They never come back to say that I'm lying because they know it's the truth. And because, you know, when you go to spar someone in the gym, so you're not allowed to record it, because if I was allowed, I was going to pause the video. And I'm happy because nobody can, you know, say that I'm lying, so it's true. And I don't lie because I need a fight. No, I want a big fight. They're avoiding me now. They know reason why. So I should tell people why they're avoiding me, because they know what happened in the gym. So now they're avoiding me. And now people see that I'm telling the truth. And now we need the fight. So.
Do you remember the shots specifically that dropped them?
Uppercut, left hook, jab. All of them, I give them a hard time with the jab. I always keep this one for the fight. So soon I use it once, so you can't stand. But the nose, I got nice jab, nice left hook. So everyone get it.
At 6, he's about 18 stone. What would you expect in him? Not to look big and strong? I mean, you know, like, he's dangerous. People looking for ways to kind of talk up Daniel.
According to Hearn, Usyk believes the rematch will be like a fierce game of chess, with Dubois probably making it through the first few rounds, but finding it difficult to stop Usyk's flow. He thinks that the fight will depend on how fast Dubois executes the body shot, and if Usyk can counter it with technical skill. Do you want the authentic underdog tale? Leave a comment. Who survives the fight and who wins by knockout? Then press the subscribe button.